Everybody, welcome back to the Magic Academy. Today we're learning an awesome ace card trick where the aces are lost, only to be found in 4 different impressive ways. It's a little bit more of an intermediate card trick at times, or a couple techniques that might be a little tricky for some, but you should be able to get the hang of it pretty easily. So we'll go ahead and look at the performance and then get into the explanation, so hope you guys enjoy it. Okay, so we've got the 4 aces. We're gonna go ahead and create 4 piles for the 4 aces. And so what we're gonna do is lose the aces somewhere into each pile. So that will be the first one. The spectator can push that in like so. And we'll have the ace of diamonds, and then we'll go ahead and lose that into the deck like so. And then we'll have the ace of hearts. We'll go ahead and actually just cut the ace of hearts into the deck somewhere. Last but not least is the ace of clubs, and we'll go ahead and square that up. Those cards are hopelessly lost. The best way to find an ace, this is sort of a cool trick, is you can actually wind up the deck and you can actually get, oh yes, that's an indicator card actually, indicating that, that I messed up the trick. No, only kidding. Actually, yes, it's an indicator card in that if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we should get the ace of spades. The next ace, we'll go ahead and riffle, and just a snap, we should be able to get ace number 2. There it is, the ace of diamonds. For the next ace, let's take it a step further. Why don't we spell ace of hearts, A-C-E-O-F-H-E-A-R-T-S. That is the ace of hearts. Last but not least is the ace of clubs. Should we try getting kind of fancy with it? What if we maybe cut the cards with one hand, and then in the center of the deck, we find one card coming flying out, and sure enough, the ace of clubs. Wow. Incredible magic. Truly incredible. Wow, that was a lucky catch. That last ace came flying out of the deck pretty fast. All right, so let's go ahead and learn the routine. This is a great one. So first things first is producing the aces. I just shared an ace production last week, so if you guys want to learn that, it's a great way to set up for the card trick. You get the 4 aces produced in an impossible way, and it also allows you to set up perfectly for the next step. So first things first is just getting the order right. So you start with spades, diamonds, hearts, and clubs. And the only setup in the rest of the deck is placing a 7, card number 10 from the bottom. So in other words, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards, and then the 7 face down. And that is the setup. So what are you doing from here? What you're doing is you're getting a break at the 7. And so your pinky break is just below the 7, like so. So you're holding that break. And what you're doing from there is just cutting 3 piles above the break. 1, 2, 3. And so you have the 7 right here in that 3rd pile. And so next step is losing the aces into each pile. The ace of spades is placed in position number 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is the first ace. The next ace, the ace of diamonds, you take that card, place it, and sandwich it like so. The third ace, you take this pile, place it on top, and you're going to cut the card into the center of the deck somewhere, but you're really not doing that. You're actually just bringing it to the bottom of the deck. So how did I do that? In this instance, I kept a pinky break above the ace of hearts, and I cut about a little less than half, because you don't want to cut to the exposed 7. So you undercut that top half, holding that pinky break, and you, with your thumb, bring the ace of hearts to the bottom of the deck. And so now you've got a break like so, and from there you undercut the bottom half. You can do 1 or 2 cuts. I like to do 1 and then 2, like so. And so now you have the ace of hearts on the bottom of the deck. So it looks like this. You have the 7, the ace, and then you have the ace of hearts, and 4 cards up, you have the ace of spades. And last but not least is the ace of clubs. You just place that on top of its pile. You'll see you're actually putting the ace of clubs right next to the ace of hearts, like so. And now you're all set up for the trick. From there, you see we're going to go ahead and have a card reveal itself. Do that in any way, and then you can go ahead and reveal that, yeah, I might have messed that up. But no, it's actually an indicator card. And so as you're doing that, you can push the card, and you get a break above 2 cards, like so. And so as you're doing that, you are flipping these cards face up. You're grabbing the 7, placing it on top of this pile, and you secretly have the ace of diamonds as well. So you're grabbing 2 cards as one, placing them onto this pile, being sure not to accidentally expose that ace of diamonds. So you say, okay, no, that's actually an indicator card. It's telling us 7 cards down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 cards down is that ace of spades. We'll take these cards, place them onto this pile, and drop the rest on top. So now you are in that position where you have that ace of diamonds face up. So from there you can do any sort of stunt or trick to kind of some sort of sound effect to make it sound like the ace of diamonds is turning face up. I just simply flicked the cards face up and then revealed the ace of diamonds. And so wherever you grab that ace of diamonds, go ahead and take the bottom pile, which will have the ace of hearts in that perfect position to spell the ace of hearts. So you grab those cards, place them on top. You go ahead and spell ace of hearts, A-C-E-O-F-H-E-A-R-T-S, to get to the ace of hearts. Now you have the ace of clubs. The ace of clubs is right here. There's many different ways to produce that last card. I went ahead and used the one-handed cut, where I first brought that card to the bottom of the deck, similar to the way I did with the ace of hearts at the beginning of the trick. Once again, just to show you that. It's getting a pinky break above that ace and replacing the pinky break with a thumb break. So you're now holding the card like so. And you're cutting that to the bottom of the deck. And then you are now replacing the thumb break with the pinky break. And you now have the ace of clubs on the bottom. From there you can go ahead and do the undercut again, where you're just simply cutting 2 piles to the break. So now you have the ace of clubs on the bottom. And I went ahead and did the one-handed cut into shooting that card. A little bit cleaner than that, like so. So if you want to learn how to shoot a card out of the deck, I actually have a video as well that goes in detail on how to do that. So, of course, there's many different ways to produce that last ace. That was just one that I like to use. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. There's a few intermediate level card techniques you need to use, but I'd say for the most part, it's pretty straightforward and super powerful ace card tricks. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for more great tricks. We'll see you next time.